Mailman brought some more limited run vinyl in. Let's get to it. So yeah, I got another package in of some pre-ordered limited run vinyl that I had ordered, I don't know, a few months ago, and they came in. And you may not be as familiar with this band. I don't know, they're popular in certain circles, but the band is called Disciple. They've been around. They formed in '92. They put out a couple cassettes, and then they started putting out actual albums, in the market in the '94, '95 area, and they have this many albums out. At least I think I've got all but maybe one EP. So yeah, they've been around for a while, and I guess they would get put a clump into there with the like a new metal feel because they came out in the '90s. They were always kind of on a thrashy side. I guess you could kind of new metal them. Always been a fan since the first album, I guess, that I picked up in '95, and then they had like an EP, and then they had some other albums. And anyway, their most recent album was 2019. I showed that many moons ago in a video because that was one of the ones that came out on vinyl that I picked up. Sadly, the previous album to that, 2016's Long Live the Rebels, was a crowdfunder, and I crowdfunded it, and I bought the CD because in 2016 I wasn't buying vinyl records, and so I guess there was a vinyl release of that, and I missed it, and I have yet to run across one. Anyway, neither here nor there. Girder Music has brought us a great service in going back and reissuing some of their catalog. So this is the 2005 just self-titled Disciple album. So after half a dozen albums, they put out one that just called Disciple. Now, okay, if you're a Disciple fan, this is about the time frame where the band kind of made a sound change, and you're either a fan or you're not. So early on, new metal, thrash, heavy, good stuff all the way through. You get to this 2005, and I would say it's got more of a commercial appeal. Is that a bad thing? No. There are still some heavy songs on here. It's one of those things where a lot of bands go through, and they have some songs that are a little more commercial than maybe they used to have on the old stuff, and then they still have heavy songs. But people hear one of their songs on the radio, and they're like, oh, I can think of other bands in that same category that people have turned their back on because they think every song on the album sounds like the one they hear on the radio. Not the case. This is an amazing album, great album, and it has been reissued on this beautiful color matching vinyl. And yeah, I mean, bands grow, bands change, and I have no problem growing with them unless they take a drastic change and turn into, go from being a hard rocking, band to, all of a sudden pop, industrial death metal, drastic changes. No, I'm sorry. The band is still heavy. They're just a little more commercial appeal. Anyway, 2005, just self-titled Disciple album. Insert, actually it's the inner sleeve. The band was also, for the most part, always known as like a three-piece trio. So around this era is when they started going from 4 to 5 pieces. But anyway, so yeah, this just came in and it's great. The follow-up album to that, 2006 Scars Remain, also reissued. Again, along the same line, there are some heavy songs on here, and there are some really, really wonderful, little less heavy. The color scheme is just absolutely wonderful with these. Actually, I believe these were the ones that Greg from Girder sent a bunch of us, hey, a survey, help us choose colors. And I'm pretty sure that he made these colors exactly for me because these are my colors I chose. I think these are the Jeff exclusives. I'm kidding. But yeah, there were, because there was obviously different ways you could go. You've got kind of more of a gray here. You got red here. You got the black. So anyway, a bunch of us voted on color schemes, and I think they are absolutely wonderful. Now, I'm not exactly sure why the 2008 Southern Hospitality album was skipped, but he jumped right over to 2010's Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And actually, this is one that they had a song on the radio quite a bit. "Dear Ex, You Don't Own Me," I believe was a song, and they might have had another one because my wife was like, I can't believe I'm hearing Disciple on the radio, and it was like, huh, yeah. Anyway, so there are, but still there are heavy tunes on here. You just got to get past the fact that they have some of those, and looking all spiffy there. Again, it's got the insert and everything. Still a 4-piece at this point. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Disciple at all, and you're into hard rock with the new metal flair, maybe the new metal is, I don't know, just really hard rock and concise guitars, at times. The vocal style is a little aggressive at times. Then yet, check out Disciple. Those 3 albums are simply amazing. They look amazing. I've listened to them the past couple of days. They sound amazing. Don't poo-poo the idea that, they made a slight sound change. Bands grow. Bands change. You can't expect them to be the same over and over. I know a lot of people do, but I am fine with growing with bands. I know bands that go through all kinds of changes, musical changes that are sometimes a little drastic. I mean, obviously, I don't know many bands that go total 180 to another direction, but bands grow, they change, they experiment. And so these are 3 solid albums. I'm hoping Southern Hospitality is next. That's probably, when that came out, I remember getting that at the bookstore and sticking it in to the car and thinking, wow, I was blown away immediately by that album. I think they were a 5-piece at that point. And the band just, it sounded amazing. It just sounded great. I'm like, this is great. My hopes are that the vinyl reissues of these continue, because none of their stuff aside from the most recent 2 albums have been on vinyl. All their other stuff is in the 90s when it was nothing there. So I'd love to see some of the previous ones that were a little on the heavier edge, though they did record a lot of songs. There were quite a few songs on a couple of those albums, like 16, 17, I don't know. It seemed like it'd be pretty hard to put some of those on unless you put a double record set out. So I think they used to put out a lot of music, great stuff, heavy stuff. So hopefully we'll see some more. I'd like to see the continuation on to the next couple that came out. And yeah, great stuff. Check out Disciple if you're not familiar with them. It's absolutely amazing job that Gerda Records did. Thanks to Greg doing this at Gerda Records, giving us this great music on vinyl for the first time. And beautiful they are, and they sound great. Thanks a lot for watching, though. I'll be back. Rock on and rock hard.